Texas Congressman McCaul was in Austin today to highlight what Houston is doing to combat human trafficking. As KXAN's Wes Rappaport explains, it's a crime that's only getting worse in Texas.
It's all over the headlines.
What kind of influence do high-profile cases like this Jeffrey Epstein case that's unfolding right now, what kind of influence does that have on the conversation?
That it's happening, and that there are buyers and users, and some of them apparently in fairly, prestigious places, which to me I find sickening as well. I think that it's really the awareness.
Congressman McCaul says human trafficking is growing, not slowing in Texas.
We used to think this was limited to countries like Thailand and foreign countries. Now it's in our backyards. And it's not just an urban problem, it's a suburban problem. And we're seeing it from high schools, from Westlake High School to Katy High School. From Austin to Houston to San Antonio, Dallas.
The former prosecutor gathered advocates and law enforcement from the local, state, and federal levels to talk about new ways to combat the crime and help survivors.
This is a community issue. This is a public health issue.
A representative from the governor's child sex trafficking team outlined main goals: prevent trafficking, identify those at risk, save survivors, support long-term healing, and seek justice.
The child is not the perpetrator. The child is not the criminal. We have to go after the perpetrator, and that is the pimp, the trafficker, the businessman, the user, the buyer of these children.
Houston has the model. There are nearly 24 different agencies staffing a fusion center of sorts to work together through each of those key steps.
Let's make Texas a place that trafficking is no longer welcome.
Wes Rappaport, KXAN News.
Congressman McCaul is spearheading bipartisan federal legislation that would create a pilot program for local, state, and federal training developed by the Texas Department of Public Safety. It would help identify exploited children and other young victims of trafficking.